You know what pisses me off the most? When you say something and people look at you like you're furniture, or when there are three people talking and your words just hang in the air, then a minute later someone else says the exact same thing and everyone nods. I've been there, and it's not that you're not smart enough or interesting enough. Something's just off. Something in you doesn't register as important. Then I noticed people who had the opposite going on. They could say something mundane about the weather and everyone listens. They could stay quiet all evening and people would still ask for their opinion first. What's the difference? Not charisma, not status, and definitely not what they're saying. The difference is how they hold themselves within their own life. First, stop waiting for the right conditions. Where are you right now? What's your situation? Maybe your job sucks. Maybe your relationship is so-so. Maybe you're broke. And what are you doing? Waiting for everything to get better before you start living properly? That's a trap. People who get respected, they don't wait for the moment. They work with what they have right now. Life gives them lemons, they make lemonade. Life gives them shit, they turn it into fertilizer. This isn't Instagram motivation. This is about the fact that while you're waiting for the perfect moment, you're telling yourself, I can't handle this, and others pick up on it. Work with what you have right now. Otherwise, you'll never start. Second, small things reveal everything. Look, a person says they're a professional, that they're serious, that you can count on them, but they show up 15 minutes late, or dress like they just rolled out of bed, or forget to do what they promised. Small things, but those are exactly what show who you really are, because everyone tries hard on the big stuff, but the small stuff reveals your true attitude. Making your bed is not about being neat, it's about not considering it beneath you to do a simple thing well, that you don't need an audience to be responsible. And people feel this. If you're nothing in the small things, you'll be nothing in the big ones too. Third, there's a pause between an event and your reaction. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic, or talks shit to you, or does something shitty. What happens? You automatically get angry, get offended, explode. Now imagine something different. Between what happened and your reaction, there's a second, a moment, a pause. In that pause, all your freedom. Because you can get offended, or you can look at the situation coldly and decide, nah, this isn't worth my energy. People who get respected, they don't let external circumstances control their internal state. They're not easy to rattle, not because they're robots, but because they choose what to react to. And that's actually really cool. Fourth, you are your environment. Listen, this hurts, but it's true. Show me the 5 people you spend the most time with, and I'll tell you who you are. Because we absorb everything, the way they talk, their mindset, their attitude toward life, even if we don't want to. And if your environment is whiners who constantly complain about life, or toxic people who gossip about everyone, guess who you'll become? I'm not saying you need to be a snob, but seriously, better to be alone than in company that drags you down. Also, others judge you by who you're with. Unfair? Maybe, but that's reality. Fifth, revenge eats you, not your enemy. When you've been betrayed or hurt, you want revenge. You want that person to feel the same thing. Confucius said, before seeking revenge, dig 2 graves. And here's the thing, while you're planning revenge, thinking about that person, chewing on the resentment, you're spending your life on someone who's already moved on. The best revenge is not being like them, not sinking to their level, investing your energy in your own life, not destroying someone else's. Life will sort it out itself, not because of karma, but because actions have consequences. A person who screws everyone over will end up alone eventually, but you won't care anymore. Sixth, your personal life isn't for everyone. Here's the thing, the more you tell people about yourself, the more ammunition you give them against you. Not everyone needs to know your problems. Not everyone cares. Not everyone wishes you well. Most people either don't give a shit, or they're glad you're doing worse than them, or they'll use it against you later. This isn't about being closed off and unavailable. This is about valuing your personal space and not handing it out left and right. Seventh, gossip is a sign of emptiness. When people talk about others, it's always about one thing. They don't have their own interesting topics. Think about it. If a conversation only holds together because of who did what, who's with whom, who how, it means there's nothing deeper between you. Gossip says three things. You're bored with each other, you've got a lot of unspoken negativity, and you can't be trusted. Because if you talk about others when you're with me, you talk about me when you're with others. Talk about ideas, about plans, about things that genuinely move you, not about who wore what and who dumped whom. Eighth, real usefulness isn't people-pleasing. There are people who do everything for everyone, always say yes, always ready to help, always available, and they're not respected. Why? Because help without boundaries isn't help. It's a need for approval. Real help is when you help because you can, because it's right, not because you're afraid to say no. And most importantly, when you do it not for a thank you, but for the feeling that your existence has meaning, that you're not just taking up space. Ninth, words without actions are just noise. It's easy to talk about how to live, easy to give advice, easy to act like you know everything, but people don't look at words, they look at what you do. If you talk about honesty, but lie about small things, everyone sees. If you talk about discipline, but show up late yourself, everyone notices. If you preach morality, but act differently, nobody will believe you. The more you talk, the higher the bar, and the more obvious the gap between words and actions. Do, the words will follow. 10th, complaints are an admission of weakness. There's a difference between I have a problem and everything sucks for me. The first is stating a fact. The second is surrender. When you constantly complain, you're showing you can't handle it, that circumstances are stronger than you, that you've given up. And the worst part, you start believing it. People don't respect victims, even if they feel sorry for them. Pity isn't respect. Stop whining, even if you're right, even if things are really hard. Either do something about the situation or accept it, but don't stay stuck in eternal complaint. Now here's what really matters. All these things, they're not about others, they're about you. When you work with what you have, you respect your ability to cope. When you mind the small stuff, you respect your word. When you control your reaction, you respect your strength. When you choose your environment, you respect your time. When you don't seek revenge, you respect your energy. When you keep personal stuff private, you respect your space. When you don't gossip, you respect your mind. When you help the right way, you respect your value. When you do instead of talk, you respect your words. When you don't complain, you respect your will. You can't fake this. Either you live like this or you don't. Others' respect is a side effect. The real goal is to respect yourself. And when that happens, you stop depending on what others think of you, because you already know your worth.
Subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video.